It is Dave Lawrence, member-supported Hawaii Public Radio, all things considered. And at the Blue Note, it's a Wailers Thanksgiving weekend, I guess you could say. It's a very special one, too. And it's neat because Aston family man Barrett is a very famous bass player who was part of the original Wailers. And I happen to be blessed to have, I believe, two of his sons sitting next to me here. And say again?
Son and nephew.
Son and nephew. Okay, so I have Aston Barrett Jr. on the drums, son of family man. Aloha and welcome.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Great to have you here. I'm very good. And yourself?
Yeah, man. Doing great.
And then a return guest that we had, I think it was 3 years ago. It was in the beginning of the Blue Note Hawaii when Joshua David Barrett joined us, and you said nephew of family man.
Yes, one blood, one love, one God, one aim, one destiny. Jah Rastafari, bless him.
And you're singing in the band and doing a great job again, and different cast of characters than you guys had the last time around for sure. But thinking about this incredible organization that you guys have, you are blessed to have a dad who I think played here in 1979. I don't know if there were shows before that one at the Waikiki Shell, but did he ever tell you about coming here back in the day with Bob?
Yeah, he tell me a lot of stories. I mean, here, I don't know if he was specific, but I do a couple times in this conversation, he will talk to us about Hawaii, that tour, 79 Survival, also New Zealand, and, you know, when they went out into different places, you know.
Yeah, it was a whole Pacific Rim thing, exactly. And it was like on their way back from there or on the way there, something like that. Anything at all that you can remember him mentioning? I know it's just one vague thing of a lot of stories from your dad. But.
He told me that when he came in, they were greeted by the the Hawaiian people. And if you see one, there's a picture somewhere online where you see Bob have the
a lay on.
Yeah. He has one of those on. Yeah. So he said the whole band received that, and they were really excited, and they really felt welcomed. You know, so Hawaii is always a place that everyone in Jamaica always look highly of and dream to come, because once you come, the first thing everybody says, aloha. Right. You know, and you just feel that welcome. So even when we're walking on the streets and see the nature, it's like you can feel the earth, and see the people out there connected with the earth too. So
well, connected's a great word because it's also an island place. So a lot of island cultures have that connectivity, is also sort of what you're alluding to. And I remember last time that you were here, Josh, when we were talking about the whole way that Hawaii has one of the biggest reggae cultures of just about any place outside of Jamaica, huh?
Yeah, well, Bob Marley and the Wailers carry the message, and they plant the seed, and we are the fruit of that, all of we, So mission continues.
Yeah, it does, but it's a very special thing to have you guys come back here, because you probably see the colors of Jamaica, the Jamaican flag, you see Bob's face all over the place. It's really like it's an omnipresent sort of force in Hawaii.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Bob Marley and the Wailers, they I mean, even for me, I'm a fan, of what they did, and to see reggae music here, because even on the radio, every time I switch different channels, it's reggae. I'm like, yo, and the love of it. They create their own style here too. So
Hawaiian.
Yeah, I mean, we feel good. We know great artists like J Boog, right. And also what's his name? I can't remember his name now, but J Boog and.
There's a lot of cats here who have been touched by the reggae, and what you're pointing out is it's just been a huge part of Hawaii culture for decades and decades. But it's ramped up certainly over the last few decades. For you, Joshua, when did you first pick up the guitar or decide you wanted to sing as a young man?
Well, I first picked up the guitar and broke it at 2 years old, and I didn't get another one for many years. So I ended up playing drums, and sing. My auntie, Aunt Stella, lead the church choir them time there, so we not no other choice. We have to go.
Whose guitar was it that you broke?
My own. It's a little Smurf guitar, so I feel me want to bash it like Jimi Hendrix, me and Tycho,
A Smurf guitar.
Yeah.
That's called the Smurf.
I wanted to say one thing too about
this
paradise where we are, myself and the keyboardist, brother Ipez, when we land from the airport, recite the rainbow. And I was talking with one sister upon the plane, one of the flight attendant, Sister Michelle. Tell me about the rainbow. How do you say it in Hawaiian language?
I don't know. You caught me.
But she said, I believe that Emperor Haile Selassie I is the second coming of Christ. And she said, here we have a rainbow. She said, everywhere His Majesty went, the rainbow followed him. And that's why we wear the green, gold, and red. The primary colors of the rainbow is show you that all of we are one humanity. And there are some other colors to the spectrum that make we one humanity. You know, so here we feel that energy. Tonight is like, when you look upon the crowd, is the United Nations, you know. So we're glad to see Jah in this time as we glorify Him. We're blessed and privileged to watch the coming together of people that we say one love, you know.
It's a message that's so sorely needed right now. So if anything, if there was any way to honor what Bob Marley did, it would be to bring that kind of message of unity, of people being accepting of each other, coming together, which is basically what you're saying.
Well, we have to accept the good and
fight the bad.
Fight the bad, but we fight it by education, by correcting the abuse. Because when we know better, we do better. And we have a chance to prepare a next generation so that when our time in this work upon this earth, when that time done, the next generation can carry it onward.
I remember talking to you about that before because you have a very positive message and it's a critical thing to have, and that was one of the big things that he had. And so what you're saying is you want to make sure that you leave that legacy. And speaking of legacy, when did you pick up the drums? I mean, of all the, what was it that you could have had any choice of instrument? Bass could have been the one, obviously, like your pop. What was it that made you say drums?
Well, I pick up the drums later on still, cause bass is my real instrument. Okay. Yeah, I'm a bass player. The drums, the reason why I pick up the drums really is because that sound was missing. My uncle, Carlton Barrett, he passed away in 1987, and that was a huge part of the sound, because Bob was the painting. And as my father told me, someone said that the Wailers was the frame and Bob was the painting, so it's like piece of the frame was broken. So it's like, because the heartbeat is the drums and the bass is the backbone, so it's like without the heartbeat it was really missing. So the other drummers, great drummers that came in the band and played, but it created and shifted to another sound. And even when I was younger and practicing, I used to notice the difference with Uncle and different other drummers playing.
It changes the whole groove of the band.
Yeah, it was good, but it never to me it never had that same effect. So I just figured that I really just learned it to learn it. I never really picked up the drum to actually play here. But my father, there was a situation where one of the drummers one time didn't get a visa in time and they couldn't find a drummer. So I told Dad that I'm not a great drummer, but I could hold it until he comes in. And since that, he,
No, it's stuck, is what you're saying.
The sound.
Yeah. Well, it was obvious that it worked. Bless you.
So that's really when it started. But when I just joined the band with my father, I was playing percussion.
Which came first in your life? Was it drums, bass? With a father like him playing bass, which was your first thing?
Bass was the first.
How old?
I was 4 years of age.
So 2 and 4. There's a real pattern of that early childhood thing there. And when you look back now, because obviously you're super influenced by the sound that he has, but as a player in general, who are some of the other cats that you admire when you think about your sound and ways that like people may have helped influence you along the way that you point to?
Well, definitely Charles Mingus, jazz. I'm a huge fan of him. I really like his choice of how he plays the bass, his choice of notes. So, he's really my real influence. Listening to him actually helped me to learn how to create bass lines. My father, I just knew how to play my father's bass line, but I never knew how to create. So by learning jazz, which is the free form music, to be jazz, like there's nothing, no note is wrong. You could learn to make any note right. You know, so yeah, man. So
that's a great person to bring, and that brings a lot to the sound of the band too.
Yeah, man. Because everybody have their influences too, you know. Which, you know, my father and all of those, you know, great musicians from Bob Marley and the Wailers and many other musicians in Jamaica, they were also influenced from the 1930s and 40s music, which some of us in this generation never got a chance to understand. So like jazz is like really to me the closest to that, you know. So yeah, man, it gives me
It's a great foundation. It brings a lot. It's a great way to pay tribute to your pop too. Yourself, young man, and are you Carlton's son or?
No.
Okay.
We through the vine. There's only a Barrett in Jamaica. See, when you see Barrett or any family name, we all
common
blood. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
See.
So what would you, when you think about, obviously, Bob, I was loving watching you do a Redemption song and kind of like the whole started off acoustic and then the band comes in, kind of like you guys doing your own arrangement on a jam that he would traditionally close out the show by himself, solo. Very powerful, quite frankly. You listen to some of those ones from like 1980 Stanley Theater. I get chills just thinking about it. But thinking about yourself, besides him, other cats that you point to as when you're on stage, you know, some of what they have inspired you to do comes out.
I have to say all of my teachers, from Miss Valiante, you know, to Aunt Stella, to Clay Bogan, to Donovan Jackson, to, you know, enough people that is too long to name, but
not celebrities, but teachers who helped you.
Even if them is so-called celebrities, if you learn from them is a teacher. And we all learn from each other, you know. As a singer, yeah, I have a sight man like Sam Cooke, Al Green, Sugar Minot, you know what I mean? Them kind of people there, Lauryn Hill, Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight, Ethiopian music, Teddy Afro, George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic, who I come from the same county as them, proud to say, Union County, New Jerusalem, you know. But me as a student of life, so we try to learn something from everyone and all things, you know.
Well, it's very cool, and I appreciate getting to talk with you guys tonight. And it's super, super cool to watch you on stage interpreting the stuff over the years, too, that we've been, you know, like I said, when you were here last time, it was interesting to watch the way you were doing stuff, and also the positivity that you like to make sure you bring in his message. It's a critical thing that he always, you know, was critical in the 70s. Look at what we've got going on in the world now. It couldn't be more important. So I appreciate that you do that. It's a real tribute to Bob. Final question for you that I had been curious about. Your dad, how many siblings total are you thought to have?
I've heard the numbers change all the time.
How many have you met? A lot of your siblings? Like what's the number?
No, I don't. I never met a lot. I don't really know it on the top of my mind.
And he had that name way before he had a bunch of children. How did he get that name, Family Man?
Cause he's a very caring person.
Because of his spirit.
Yes, and you know, he was definitely chosen from the Most High.
So it's just irony that he would have a bunch of children, because it was really because of the family spirit that he had, that he imbued.
Yes, yeah, man. Everybody on this earth is chosen for a mission, you know.
Right,
and you know, he was there to be fruitful and multiply.
It's a good way to leave it on. And we've been thrilled to have Aston Barrett Jr. drums and also Joshua David Barrett singing and guitar, doing a little bit of both for the Wailers there at the Blue Note through the end of the weekend. And I hope you enjoyed spending a little bit of time talking today.
And before you go, of the great Donald Kinsey.
I'm going to do a separate thing with him in 1 second. But thank you. I hope you appreciated this.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for coming and doing this.
I just want to say, too, like, we give Jah thanks because it's through the inspiration of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I that Wailers have a name, that Bob Marley and the Wailers have a name. And when you study history, whether or not you look upon him how Rasta look upon him, but it's crucial to understand that part of history and who Emperor Haile Selassie I in Ethiopia is in the scope of world affairs and World War II. Because if it wasn't for His Majesty, we couldn't be here. Seeing the world would be a totally different place if Mussolini, Hitler, and the Japanese Emperor did win the Axis powers. So this is our inspiration, and we must say we are honored because Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Carlton Barrett, all of the Wailers from past and present, they are especially the ones who've gone before us, Waya, they are our saints and angels, and they still work with us. So even what you hear now is just them working with us, and sometimes them whisper a thing in our ear or put something in our heart just for make we just, here, try this. And really is a living soul, this music and those who created it. That's why we're blessed. We know they're with us. And we feel them, just like how the people feel. We feel them, and they're with us to help us and give us strength to carry on,
It's very inspirational. Appreciate you talking again, brother. Thank you.
Thank you for having us, Rastafari.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, anytime. Maximum respect, my friends. Is Aston Jr. from the Wailers back for the pledge drive, and you know why? We need your help, man. Quality is not free. It was an honor to be here with our friend David Lawrence. So honor this station with a helping hand. Thank you, my brothers and sisters.
Yes, greetings and blessed love with friends in Idrin. This is Brother Joshua David Barrett of the Wailers. We're forward here in this time for the pledge drive, and you don't know the reason why, because we need your help. Quality is not free. It's an honor to be here with I Idrin, Brother Dave Lawrence. So honor the station with a helping hand. Give thanks, brothers and sisters. Rastafari.